Hi, I'm Long.
I'm Alexis.
I'm Julia.
I'm Gina E.
As long as we nerd this semester, what do you nerd from this class?
I'm gonna start first. Actually, I've learned a lot from this class. Like we have been, we have a lot of the discussions from this class, and I've learned a lot of different perspectives from this class, from other people, from other classmates, and especially we had a chance to participate in the election at NBC Bay Area, which I think I never forget that.
Yeah, how about you? What do you nerd from this class?
You know, I went into this class expecting a lot of talk about politics, which I was excited about. I studied politics in my undergrad. It's election season. It was an exciting topic to study from a social perspective. But I feel like the thing I really took from the class is that you should be looking at multiple sources. I mean, take the election outcome after the fact. There's all this coverage of fake news. If you thoroughly look at the news and you know what your sources are, it's different than if you're looking at your news all from one place. So it's really important to pay attention to the media, or else, you're ultimately influenced by things. That's really what I took away.
That's really nice. Gina, I know you have been research for some news about the election. What do you think about that?
Oh, about the election, I think what I've learned is this is really like a very diversified culture, and there was always another side of the story. And people talk about media, and actually I think there was a new definition about media. Traditionally, we think CNN, CBS are media because they create content and they have audience. But now I think some of the, with the new technology, some of the big platforms like CNN, Twitter has emerged as a new media platform. They think they are a technology company, but I think based on the effect we can see from the election, actually they have emerged as the new media players in these markets. And I think it's very important for these tech companies to set a new rule and to improve the system or the mechanism to filter the information.
Yeah, that sounds great. So what I learned from this class, the most important thing is how to thinking critically. Because before that, I grew up in China, and for my country, we only have one political system. We only have one community party, so we don't have chance to hear their enemy to say something. But when we're watching the debating, we can get the information about the two sides, which has really opened up my eye and give me more information at the one time. And this year being passed, and what is the news catch your eyes? There are so many things happen, huh?
This election, I think, is have a big effect on people, not actually American people, but people in the world. Like, people have to realize the core value of journalism, like how to get to the truth. We are living in social media life. We are living in sharing culture, and so we have to have accountability for what we talk out there. So that I think fake news is very important issue right now, and I think we have a lot of opportunity to talk about it in the class.
Yeah. How about you?
Aside from the election, I feel like there were a lot of other stories that stood out this year in kind of the social realm. The one that really stood out to me was the Pulse nightclub shooting and kind of that aftermath, and really how that affected the election. It was interesting seeing something like that happen when there was a race occurring, and how that affected the campaigns, how it affected the way people were looking at the campaigns, because it affected so many people in the United States. So suddenly, there's a new cause that people are really passionate about or didn't know they were passionate about before, that suddenly, something's been ignited.
Wow.
Yeah, I think the post-election shooting always has also struck my mind, because we had a discussion, because I feel like that's the class that people, students, have very different opinions about that, and also about race issue. And we talk about you talk about well, maybe Trump needs to bring up like a check, but another side of the story is like people come here for a better life, and it really go against the core value of this culture, and I think that makes me really think about those social issues, and that really brings out the best part of this class.
Yeah, and I really think the most part catch my eye is a debating for the president because it was the most interesting debating I have ever watched. Because I think the Hillary and the Trump just arguing like the elementary students. They don't really look like politicians, and they're talking about everything, and they're acting crazy. Sometimes they're acting cool. It's just like really fun to watching. Like they're acting, not like the real things. So the other thing we want to talk about is like which topic you like the most when we discuss in the class.
Well, as I said, is fake news, politicians talking, the election.
Yeah, you're like, how about you?
I really enjoyed the class where we watched the video that talked about how millennials are kind of the new advertisers, and they're using things like Vine and all these other platforms to sell things, and they're making all this money and you wouldn't even know it. I found that class really interesting. It opened my eyes up to a lot of the ways that there's these new social media things that I haven't even thought about as someone who wants to work in social media that are being used as these major platforms.
Yeah, like me and Gina, we're doing a project about the social media. We're trying to teaching people the different lifestyle and cooking Western food in Chinese channel. We're preparing doing that. So we think like making money from social media is like the new type of job recently, right?
Yeah, yeah. Actually, like the story you just talked about, it's a very similar situation in China.
Oh, keep going? Okay.
Yeah, because
Final thoughts.
Okay.
Wrap it up.
yeah, I think it's a very eye-opening class for me. It's very different from all the classes I have taken before. From other classes, I may learn skills. I learn like new concepts and new terms. But from this class, it really gets me to think. It really gets me to observe American culture from a very different perspective. And I think one sentence is I'm closer to this culture after this class.
Yeah, that's really cool. After this class, I really think about how to be listened to people like critically, as thinking everything like two-sided, and also get to know this country better because this year so many news going on, and the most interesting news is election, and I get to know the American politicians better than before. Yeah, thank you for watching.
Thank you.